Hello, hello. How y'all doing? Getting your grooves on out there in the Thrift Fam chat room, I hope. It is Tuesday. No one near's drinking some Jack and Coke and practicing. I'm not so up tonight. I don't know what that means, Nancy. 4 people? Where is everybody? What's up, JBG? Hello there, Leon Kennedy. Welcome, welcome. You are a newbie? Yeah, I feel a little bit tired too, but anyway. Let's start playing out the intro tonight, as we will start proceedings very, very shortly. There we go. We're done with the intro tune, so bear with me, folks. Bear with me 1 second. Let's try get you up. There you are. Hopefully you can see what is going on in the chat there. So the next thing I need to do is get you up on my screen if I can. Bear with me, bear with me. So what a beautiful, beautiful day here in Toronto, Ontario. So it's saying only 3 people are watching. Try to go later to get more of you to watch. Anyway, who knows? But it has been a very beautiful day. Well, we got our comments up on the screen. Everything's looking rosy and dandy. I have had some awful fun and games with my phone over the last few days. Hold on 1 sec. I do got some coffee. I was just outside having a smoke and coffee, and all of a sudden, I think there are more than that. Well, it's saying 3 my end, Baby P, but we've got at least Nancy, Judy Bell, no one near in Leon. That's more than 3. So the shadow banning, guys, that was what I was going to talk a little bit about. I've got some interesting stuff lined up, possibly to talk tonight. This is the first live show after spring break. Is the first live show after the weekend's events at the Toronto protest. Yet another, well, goodness, each and every week, certainly from my perspective, those feeds do get a little bit better and more riveting and entertaining. So anyway, Leon, how did you find us, if you don't mind me asking? We don't often get newcomers to the thrift store, but we always do like to welcome them, unless, of course, they do present themselves to be a troll. Let's hope that's not the case with you. But anyway, let me try and get some more coffee in me, because just like Nancy, I'm feeling a little bit tired myself, mainly because I have drenched myself out there in the... Oh, wait, are you Alias's friend, Leon, and are you in Toronto and looking to be meeting up on Saturday? Because if you are, I know who you are exactly. If not, then maybe I'm thinking someone else. That's it, right, I got you. I know exactly who she is. She told me to look out with you. You're in Toronto, right, and don't have many friends or anything. So hopefully, yeah, if you're out and about and you get down to Queen's Park at the weekend, look forward to touching base with you. So yeah, we are a friendly bunch here. We are a little bit precautious and try to be protective about not necessarily, we welcome all until they outstay their welcome. That's what we're kind of saying. And we had a couple of troll incidents in recent weeks. We had some fun and games, I think, during the protest stream on Saturday. So as I said, guys, we are in the first week after. Sorry, I did nearly lose my train of thought a little bit then. So we are in our first week after spring break, and we do know that when we come out of spring break, we do hopefully have some improvements in a little bit as well, possibly the improvements in the stream at Queen's Park on Tuesday. I use Streamlabs out in the open, and it seemed to present a better broadcast quality than when I just use the YouTube regular app. So I do got some stuff to chat about tonight, and we will see if any more. See, I've got 7 folks now, so we will just wait a little bit longer before we dive in anywhere. Did anyone watch the video about the Minnesota man? I don't know what video you are referring to? So probably the answer to that would be no. In nowhere near, if I'm right, you're Shawnee, right? Shawnee. People have been not just by the CBC, CTV, and Global, like all media and mainstream media, and even social engineers are in on this brainwashing campaign. And that's a little bit what we are going to be talking about somewhat tonight. I haven't seen about Minnesota, so the nurse I saw said this COVID is BA. No, I have not seen that. I mean, a little bit, kind of to talk about what Leon is saying. I have detached completely from mainstream, and I do try to limit the amount of social media time I do spend. In what time I do spend, I try to spend it in the sort of circles where we will be in the same mindset. Here he is, William Mason. How you doing, brother? Saluting out to you. Our former veteran here comes and hangs out. Come one, come all. We are a welcoming bunch here. And she was a nurse. So no, I don't know anything about this. Maybe a little later we can possibly talk about this when we turn the camera around and have our Thrift Fam chat. I don't know what. We're trying to think up some catchy little names. So as you know, we do kind of separate the show into two parts nowadays. You have the little first part where I do my little bit of talking and do what I got to do or feel like I got to do. And then we turn the camera around and sort of hang out, chill, and see what happens. And then possibly end up... oh my god, I got some exciting news about the shitty card game. I still need a name for that. I'm going for shitty cards. Maybe shitty hand, I don't know. Still looking for a name for our card. So that is, again, the plan for tonight. Once I do get a little bit more coffee in my system. Hold on. Oh my god, that's good coffee. And it's such a beautiful night outside. I almost was going to try and set up on the porch and see if we could do a outside broadcast, but maybe some outside distractions like raccoons and skunks. We've had skunks spraying. So back to today. It was absolutely beautiful. We were all up in the 80s, 30s if you are in Toronto. We hit the 30-degree temperatures today as we did yesterday. And Saturday, you may have seen, if you tuned into the broadcast at the Toronto protest, it was an absolutely beautiful day, and each day has been a little bit more beautiful and slightly warmer. So I am, hold on, I think I might have a coffee-induced burp up the sleeve. Sorry, it wasn't a very impressive burp. Sorry about that, baby P. A man died at the brutality of the police. He was basically choked. I think I seen something about that floating again, but I have been detaching a little bit of myself from this mainstream stuff because it's very easy to kind of get caught in and get a little bit angered by the events that are going on, and certainly some alarming events that have been sort of transpiring in recent weeks that we are going to get into in a little bit. But the weather has indeed been a huge boost to the system. Spring kind of finally did arrive. I mean, it's summer, to be quite honest, and it was the most perfect, wonderful day today. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. The sun was out, and I literally drenched myself in the sun all day. And I'm feeling a little bit of this, you know, when you feel a little bit dopey from the sun when you've been out all day, but it's a good kind of dopey and you feel good. So I might not be on my top game. I do got a little bit of dopamine dopiness going on from the vitamin D, but my God, has it revitalized. I don't know if you can see, I've even got a different skin to last week. I did treat the wenches, my moderator crew, to a little tan line pick. And feel free, ladies, if you want to put that on eBay and raise me some rent money, that would be great. You have my permission to put my butt cheek tan mark pick up for sale on eBay. Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm like at least 4 shades darker than I was this time last week. Woohoo! Yeah, Made in Montana. You've seen them. Another very interesting thing. So before I do get into my sort of planned topics of discussion for tonight. Some very interesting shit's been going down with the shadow banning. Now, you guys who have been around for a while will know of something that I like to call passive censorship, which is pretty much shadow banning, and how this works and how it does kind of seem to target my channel. Now, on Saturday, quite a few people I noticed, I haven't actually watched it all back in its entirety yet, but I did notice as I skimmed through various parts, a couple of times people said in the comment, ATN was one, I know that much for certain, but Maiden Montana also added that maybe 2 or 3 people said that they had a lot of difficulties finding those streams. Now, the other thing that was noticeable, that the views from my videos were also a little bit down as a result, comparison to previous weeks when they got quite the amount of views. So I kind of suspecting rather, that they are out trying to silence me or try to passively censor me, because you can't really censor the truth, and nothing that I'm promoting at the protests is kind of what I can consider hate-filled. In fact, quite the opposite. You've been watching them, and they don't want this message getting out. Just like Leon said earlier on, that we have been brainwashed by the mainstream, and in recent weeks I've provided quite a lot of content, and even in the last couple of weeks, interviews that the mainstream won't bring, with people that are very influential and very vocal at these protests. In fact, they are the people that are behind the main organization and the main driving force so far. And I've also got very close to them and maybe lining up some interviews. But the shadow banning seemed to be very apparent. Not only this, now the Darcy as well, I did treat her to a little bit of a video screenshot, as well as my moderator crew, and I caught some of the most bizarre behavior I think I have ever witnessed on my phone. Now, if you remember, we lost the Thrift phone last week or the week before, nearly 2 weeks ago, and we got through spring break on one phone that was starting to glitch. But by the weekend, it got very strange, and also started behaving on its own. Now, some of you who I am friends with on Facebook may have been inadvertently added to chat groups, invited to some of my sort of social personal interest groups, may have even been phone called on Messenger. Now, I can assure you this was nothing to do with me, and the mods there who have seen it will confer that they have seen, I might put it in a video actually if I can, but not only the fact that my phone is what seems to be hacked, and Darcy, you saw it and you noticed that I was in the video, I kind of mentioned something about Google Maps, and within seconds of me mentioning Google, the phone just took over and started controlling itself. And I actually even showed that video to Roger, my roommate, who once upon a time used to be in IT. Soon as I showed him it, I didn't even tell him like anything about the background story. Let's watch it. Let me show you this video. I was like, oh, you've been hacked. Now, I'm not sure if I've been hacked or if Google, because of course my phone is an Android, I am Google driven, and YouTube is a partner of Google. Is Google out to censor me? Are they making my phone work against me in order to prevent me from using some of the apps that I am using in order to make things like thumbnails? The YouTube Studio app, where when you upload a video, you have to set, the COPPA rules, what the audience is. This way you kind of put your thumbnail in, and you can put your tags and descriptions, stuff like this. Every part of that application works except for the save button. I cannot save it. Luckily enough, I do got the little burner Samsung from some years ago that is allowing me to make some of those amendments on Studio app that this phone I'm using to record on right now won't allow me. So is this, I mean, I'm kind of like thinking, could it be a glitch? The phone, both my phones did kind of fall off the table. Lucky this one didn't get the damage that the Thrift phone did. But the very next day after I mentioned I lost the Thrift phone, this phone got a glitch, and the third Android phone that I have would not turn on at all. Very interesting stuff, very coincidental. Not saying that this is the case, but there certainly is a little bit of suspicion and maybe evidence to suggest that maybe it is. And as I said, let me see what you ladies are saying. I know I'm hacked. I'm pretty sure you are. Hey, so we've got Trip here. We're up to 13 folks now. So they don't like the protest. So as I said, guys, that was some very interesting stuff, and hopefully the moderator crew and Sings a Lot will confirm that that was some very, very peculiar behavior. So it's very interesting, as I said, that you did choose to turn up tonight, Leon, and mentioned the brainwashing and the mainstream media, and that's a little bit where I am going. Oh my goodness, a girlfriend from like 6 years ago is just calling me in the middle of this show. Unbelievable. Well, I'm gonna have to decline on her. We are in the middle of a show. Kenley, hey baby girl, glad to see you here. Glad your energy is up in the house tonight. You have brought a little bit of tonic to the proceedings. I don't know where you went away, why you disappeared, but so glad you're back. But back to tonight, we are going to talk a little bit about the mainstream media, the brainwashing, and the possibility of MK Ultra. When I say the possibility of MK Ultra was the science and the experimentation and the I guess code name for the project looking into mind control. And the terms, you know, back in the 50s after Operation Paperclip, this was when the United States secret alphabet agencies started looking into mind control, and in particular during the Korea War, when they rescued some American prisoners of war. They actually discovered then that these troops that fought for the United States had, in fact, while they were incarcerated in these prisoner of war camps, been brainwashed into kind of the propaganda of the Korean ideology that was rich and abundant, in part of the reasons, although I'm not that familiar with the Korean War and its history to go too much into it. But beyond that, the troops that had been sent out there by the United States come back kind of sympathizing with their enemy. Let's put it that way. And this started into a lot of research into mind control and how possibly they could use that science on a mass level in order to kind of control masses of people with the one message. And a couple of weeks ago we talked about possibly the first example of psychological operations on a mainstream level, and War of the Worlds, the presentation by Orson Welles, that was presented in kind of real time as a real news event, and this was possibly one of the first examples is where news, I mean, it was fake news, right? There's no way to do it. They presented it as news, but it was a fake story. But not all the people that tuned in and caught that broadcast were aware that it was a fake dramatization of an alien invasion, the retelling of H.G. Wells' famous War of the Worlds. The 1800s, come out in the late 1800s, predicting or depicting rather alien invasion from Mars. But the 50s, during the mind control, the MK Ultra, the alphabet agencies doing their experimentation, I truly believe that Orson Welles' performance and production of War of the Worlds was the psychological operation. It was also trying a grand experiment to get people into believing what they were being told without actually seeing what they were being told. And it also was an experimentation into the psychosomatic effect, which actually worked, because as a result of this psychological operation, it was presented as drama. People committed suicide, and not only that, people actually believed that they started to see, hear, and smell the sulfur that was mentioned and depicted within the dramatization throughout the broadcast. So people under the hypnotic gaze of contemporary mainstream entertainment back then, being the radio, television was still very much in its infancy, but back then radio was very popular, and usually at the end of the day after supper time, then family time would be possibly sitting around and listen to the radio. And again, back then kind of in a captive environment, there was no sort of cell phones or outside interference. People were tuned in and transfixed on the dramatization, and the ingredients of psychological operations are pretty much the same. We need the trauma, we need the repetition of the narrative, and we need the observation. And again, we mentioned about 9/11, that everybody was put in place once the news of the first plane strike and the tower was on fire. Most people within minutes I got the news that something bad had happened in New York, and everybody sat down, and very similar, we witnessed what was a dramatization and fake news set out in real time, because the narrative of the events that we were told on that day are very, very, very far from the actual events that happened on that day. And some of you may know I did put up 20 hours of content last September to celebrate the anniversary of the towers being destroyed on the 11th of September 2001. Fast forward now, we've been and done and dusted the war on terror to death. We need a new war, we need a new fear, and here we are, the war on pathogens and viruses. We are in a state of medical martial law. Many people have been forced into self-isolation, quarantining themselves, have been made non-essential, they're afraid of the future, they've been made unemployed, they have all sorts of other kind of worries and concerns coming in, as well as the worry that possibly there is a killer virus that's going to kill them if they don't stay 6 feet away from everyone, if they don't wear a mask, if they don't wear gloves, if they don't use hand sanitizer, and if they go outside they're going to die and infect everybody that they come in touch and contact with. And they believe this. They believe this 100%. And that is the brainwashing and the MK Ultra and the mind control at work. They have been put in isolation, and they have concentrated their efforts and their mind on the mainstream, and that mainstream has wound them down, ground them down, and they have succumbed to anything they can see and hear. I can't remember what his first name is. Is it Zbigniew Brezhnev or something? I can't remember. It's one of these guys. He had a Polish sounding name, Brzezinski. I can't remember. Back in the 70s, he said a very famous quote. It won't be very long before the time comes when people are unable to think for themselves, and all they will be able to do is repeat what they heard on the news the night before. Here's where we are. People who are brainwashed are repeating what they heard on the night before. What they're also doing is they're repeating and sharing kind of stupid propaganda memes and stupid things that they've seen their maybe seen, you know, their friends post on their timelines that they feel is some kind of virtue. And the whole part of this psychological operation is turning the fear of these people that are under the mind control into some sort of virtue. And the more people they can succumb into that fear train, strengthens their virtue, and the acceptance of the truth that maybe they are being misinformed kind of breaks and removes that virtue. But back during the MK Ultra mind control programming, some of this is actually what stems is fueled Stranger Things, the popular Netflix show, which took place at Montauk, and I believe Stranger Things was originally going to be called Montauk Tales or something along those lines. And Montauk was a scientific research laboratory where they carried out all sorts of these mind control experiments, as well as researching things like the Philadelphia and Manhattan Project. But mind control was something that they really wanted to I guess grasp its concept and find a way to utilize it, and a way that they can possibly control the masses into the way that the masses are behaving right now. This has to be evidence and example of that at play. But something that they were looking into were the Manchurian candidates, and these could be people that, there's another coffee burp, sorry about that, baby P. Somebody like Lee Harvey Oswald, the patsy at the JFK assassination, that I've looked into some stuff, and some suggestions is that he was part of, or he'd been approached or undercover working contract with one of the agencies, and was he under some kind of Manchurian candidate programming. And what that is when they kind of mind control a person into being able to carry out some kind of pre-programmed message or activity or whatever it is. But they have no concept of this until they hear a trigger word, and then once they hear that trigger word, then they will go into action and carry out the plans. And once the plans have done, another trigger word will give them little to no recollection of the event. Now, what I also needed you to pay attention to is the word I used there, the trigger word. Now, this is something that they use, the example, to trigger the programming that has been supplanted into the subliminal part of the brain. That with this, once you hear this trigger word, that programming will come to the prominent part of the brain, and you will then, as I said, if it is a pre-programmed plan like an assassination attempt, you will then probably pull out your gun, shoot your target, drop the gun, have no recollection of it. Okay, so hopefully you are following along with this. So the trigger word, now something we've heard and been introduced to in contemporary vocabulary in recent years, and I've even used her myself, the triggered lady. And triggered something, when somebody starts a rant on Facebook or into Instagram, triggered, it's come a thing, something you say to somebody is like a little bit of an insult. And as I said, the triggered meme lady, you know who I mean. We've used her as a thumbnail on one of the live shows a little while ago, and she's one of the sort of people that, what kind of state of fuck don't you understand? I'm doing my part, I'm not irresponsible. These type of people, the Karens, should we say, as they are commonly being referred to. We might have to look into Karen in an anagram, or see if we can come up with, is it some acronym? What does KARAN stand for? Not sure. Could we start working it out, thinking if there's any code there? Because remember the hand sanitizer, toilet paper, soap code I deciphered at the beginning of this pandemic. But triggered is something we must be aware of, and something you possibly see on a day-to-day basis, or it's certainly something you will see if you spend time on social media each and every day. You're going to come across somebody getting triggered during the week and your activities at some point of the you're surfing through your news feeds. But triggered is something that we've got used to. Almost everybody gets triggered about something. Well, not everybody, a certain sort of demographic, perhaps the vegans, they get awfully triggered if you were to say something that upset them. And maybe certain parts of the LGBTQRXYZ, there was that the it's ma'am, it was the guy who identified as a woman and then got upset that he couldn't get a bikini wax. He got triggered. Now, triggering is something we've been aware for. Is this social introduction? Is this programming? Is this seizing? Is this part of the mind control? Is this Manchurian programming on a wide scale level? Are they programming these Karens of the world? Are the Karens, this is where I'm going, guys, are Karens now Manchurian candidates? Are these people that have been stuck at home inside, believing everything they hear on the TV and the radio, believing about Anne Frank hiding from people, the Nazis was, the best thing, example to make, to virtual signal to their friends who may be not social isolating or social distancing or wearing gloves. These kind of blue pillars that are totally afraid of everything, that are probably sticking a cork up their ass because they're afraid to fart, because now farts can actually spread COVID-19 according to scientific research that has spread onto mainstream media. Now, the reason I'm going to mention these Manchurian candidates, these Karens that get triggered, maybe something on social media, maybe some of these funny little hand sanitizer, toilet paper soap is a trigger. Maybe the word itself, Karen, is a trigger word. Maybe calling somebody a Karen will be the trigger, and unknowingly these people have been pre-programmed while staying at home, watching the mainstream media subliminally, just like the hand sanitizer, toilet paper soap, and we got pretend hospitalizations and trapped, all those words that come out. Although we were seeing hand sanitizer, toilet paper, soap, the brain was interpreting the letters. You see what I'm saying, guys? You getting where the point that I'm making here? So the Karens, are they Manchurian candidates, and are they being triggered to act violently and aggressively towards people who disagree with the official narrative, and possibly have done some research and looking into it and have some critical thinking to think we're being misinformed? That doesn't matter how level or how deep you think that misinformation is, you've got to admit we are being led down a windy path of misinformation, propaganda and contradiction according to the mainstream narrative. But lots of people unfortunately bought into it hook, line and sinker, and are now under the control of the mainstream and the social media mind control. And are they being triggered to behave violently, aggressively towards people who disagree? And last week at Toronto protest here in Queen's Park, a lady on her way to the protest, and I think she was even with her daughter or with a child, I'm not sure, I can't remember the details about her herself, but on her way there was a red light and there was a lady with the window open, and this lady on the street asked the lady in the car, "Excuse me, could you tell me where Queen's Park is? Am I in the right direction? I'm trying to find the protest." With this, the lady in the car, "You're going to the protest," threw her Starbucks or Tim Hortons coffee anyway. She threw her cup of coffee over the lady and then proceeded to get out of her car. And not only did she get out of her car, her passenger, which is believed to be the driver's daughter, also got out of the car and then went on to attack and manhandle and physically assault the lady, who was a little bit shook up, upset, obviously distraught by this, but still made her way to the protest on her own, I think, or with, I'm not sure if she had a daughter or something with her, but anyway, she didn't have a husband or a boyfriend or any other friends. She was just her and possibly her child, but she made it to the protest, and then some people looked after her, and I think she reported it to the police. But did she really warrant that kind of response for asking where the protest is? Now, another thing that's very interesting, and I have a dear little friend out in Ottawa who is an expecting mother. She's got a little bump, a little bun in the oven, a little bump in the tummy that should be making its light into the world in July, but she also has experienced some quite sort of horrendous treatment, just trying to get some natal, the sort of thing that expectant mums do, going to the hospital, having the scans in things like this. It's becoming quite the ordeal, and really has taken the sort of experience of the first time expecting mother away from her into something that is almost traumatic. She's also been told that she's possibly going to have to give birth wearing a mask, which I know some of you ladies out there must be saying, how the fuck no, how the hell can a woman give birth with a mask? And these are topics possibly for another day. But this poor girl is getting, like, every day hate speech, vicious. And I shared one of these messages that she sent to me today with the moderator crew. Sometimes we have a little chat and sort of plan these days try and plan what direction the show is going to go in. And I showed this message to them, and Judy Bell was, what the fuck is wrong with people? And you know, we love Judy Bell, she's our mum, but she will fuck shit up. Believe you me, I wouldn't be messing with Judy Bell. She's got that look like if she rolled her sleeves up and she pulled out the slipper or the stick, you knew you were in for a paddling. She's a no-nonsense lady, and her first reaction was, what is wrong with people? And all this girl did to warrant that was say that the information that is being passed around on mainstream media was fake misinformation. And what she got in response was texts from a stranger, a teenager by all accounts. Bear in that mind, teenager guys, teenager, maybe the younger, sort of susceptible to this kind of behavior because they submit themselves and surround themselves in social media. I hope your mother dies. I hope your daughter gets kidnapped. Like some absolutely horrible, horrendous sort of things you probably wouldn't say to you know, people that you were serving time with that had done some particularly disturbing crimes. And, you know, again, more disturbing stuff for an expecting mother to have to deal with. You know, sometimes you got ladies out there, I'm sure you know, it can be an emotional roller coaster, and to be told things like that isn't going to do you much to lift the spirits. You know, this could also harm the baby. So anyway, my advice to her was cook with butter, cheese on cheese, embrace fat, go and pour cream on your cereal, get a lot of goodness and calcium and potassium into your system, do you and the baby some good, a little bit of comfort. But again, does criticizing the official narrative, does go into a protest warrant acts of physical violence and verbal abuse of this nature? Now, this also isn't two incidents. I mean, this poor girl was getting these kind of texts and responses on social media left, right, and center. That is just one example. Some of you may recall Gracer, the girl that I have met and befriended as my kind of an official little sidekick, I guess, at the protests at Toronto here. She herself, not a stranger, had abuse in a similar way over Messenger or Instagram or one of the two, I can't remember. Very, very similar, telling, I wish you were dead, I want you to go out and get COVID and die. How dare you think against the government? How dare you question what you're told? How dare you think for yourself and have a critical mind and open opinion on what's going? How dare you? And again, it's like the little Greta Thunberg last year with her, how dare you? That is implanting, that is seeding people, that is some kind of brainwashing right there. And you've seen how many people that little bitch has under her spell, like the Pied Piper of climate Colt Hamlin, leading the little rats down her one world, one religion, the religion and church of climatology. She will be the Mother Teresa of this. And oh my goodness, talking of the devil, there she is, ladies and gentlemen, just caught out of the corner of my eye. Zahara, that is the lady in Ottawa, my pregnant little friend. Ladies, she's an expecting mum, and you're all a bunch of broody, middle-aged ladies for the most part. Make a fuss of her, virtually rub her bump try and make her feel special. We don't want young mums that are expecting to bring a beautiful child into this world to be subjected to some stuff like that. So make her feel special and give her a bump, a virtual rub. And hopefully, Zahara, my darling, I hope I'm saying your name right, you might even bring the first thrift store baby in. Like, it's not my baby, just so you know, guys. She does have a very handsome, strapping husband. Watch it, Zahara. Some of these ladies are hungry for men. But anyway, she was subjected to this, just as Gracer, the girl that I've befriended at the protests. And is this behavior some kind of programming? Are these people, are the Karens at home being subjected connected to some kind of subliminal messaging and programming that when possibly they see certain things like maybe the word fake, misinformation, COVID's not real, they are triggered to behave like the triggered lady and start ranting. Didn't you see what Phoebe's boyfriend said in his video? He's gonna fucking drop kick you in the motherfucking throat. You've got to stay home. You need to flatten the curve. What part of that don't you fucking understand? Wear a mask, for fuck's sake. These people are the ones that are going out of their way to seemingly abuse and sometimes, more often not, physically assault people that go against the grain. Now, I've also seen over the weekend, not just the examples that I've mentioned you, and these are examples that I know, like, you know, with 1 degree of separation. These are people that it's happening to that I actually know and are actually now among you in the chat room there. These aren't random stuff off of strangers. These are people that can clarify and confirm, yeah, this shit has happened to me. It's not fun. It's not nice. But we're not doing to that. You know, when I say we, the people that are kind of a little bit critical and are open-minded and thinking to themselves, you know what, this shit don't fly. It's not real. Maybe the people that are at the protests. We're not running up to people with masks and dragging their masks off and ripping them to the floor and screaming at, what part of be a sensible human critical thinker don't you understand? You know, common sense applies. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of fresh air. Our little hippie chick, the barefoot girl at the protest, telling you some factual information. Sunshine, 20 degrees, going to burn up your viruses, get in the fresh air. And now such a vibrant time to be alive. The flowers, the leaves, all the little animals and creatures, everything's coming to life today. And, you know, goodness, I felt so connected to everything in nature today. It was unbelievable. And, you know, I kind of sweated out in the sun, all those nasty toxins from winter, being stuck up in musty rooms and not being able to go outside and having heaters on. You know, I've got the windows open right now, fresh air, some sun. I feel amazing. It is an absolute tonic. This is common sense, people. The more of us went out and started getting some fresh air, some sunlight, maybe the less, you know, brainwashed people would be. But this is the thing, we haven't subjected ourselves so much to the mainstream. So is that why we are not behaving in this manner? We possibly spend more time watching YouTubers, or if we do use social media, we may go to groups that are designed for a sort of similar interest, be it, you know, you might go to a prepping group, you might go to a truth group, or you may be, you know, following the goings on of the protest, but you're in a like-minded kind of demographic, so you kind of avoid the mainstream bullshit so much. But if you see what I'm saying, you know, this is not just an isolated incident to these 3 people. These are just 3 people's examples who I am in close contact with that have experienced this. And I've also seen over the weekend, there was a lady that was in a grocery store in Queens, New York. And Queens is a very, very part of the epicenter of the misinformation here. It's like the propaganda mothership. But this lady, she was in a grocery store. She didn't have a mask on, and then the other shoppers started like bashing her with her carts, shouting abuse at her, telling to get out, wouldn't let her get up the aisle and do the things she wanted to do. And eventually the lady left. And again, not isolated incidents, people. So is there some part of the mind control that is at play that is forcing people to behave like this? Because it isn't rational. And as I said, you know, all these things have been implanted and seeded over a period of time. And this was a planned scamdemic. You know that, guys. Or at least I hope you know it. And at least the reason you're here is because you are in one of those similar mindset. And probably because hopefully coming here, I'm not saying I have any answers, but I can give you a little bit more of a critical opinion and thought train than the repetition of the mainstream media's narrative. And, you know, this is a psychological warfare we are under. The war of terror is long gone. We don't need to be afraid of radicalized Islamics with box cutters beheading people in the desert in front of green screens. we've got to be afraid of pathogens, and now we have to be afraid of farts because that's how you can spread it. And, you know, maybe you might be in a loving relationship with trying for a child, and maybe, you know what, we shouldn't be doing this because there might be COVID in the sperm. We don't want to give our unborn baby COVID in the womb. You know, and maybe if you're just a little bit romantic and kinky, maybe that also is kind of ruled out some of your fun. So maybe, you know, that is causing some kind of depression, anxiety, and frustrations and behavioral patterns that are no longer normal. People are believing this, people are buying into this, and now people are seemingly becoming irate and angered is a result of people disagreeing with them, that they are resorting to physical harm. So I'm not sure if or not I'm making any sense at all to any of you guys, or if this is just a very, you know, random theory, or I'm barking completely up the right tree or not. But it does seem to be quite recent as well that we are hearing this, and, you know, maybe is the introduction. I mean, how long ago was it that you first heard Karen? I'm thinking maybe that like 2 or 3 weeks, and hearing about the Karens is also about the same time as we're hearing and seeing reports of these kind of bizarre acts of violence and abusive text messages wishing people nothing but death. 15 watching now. Sorry, I just get back. So I'm just looking now. Where are we at? 22 hours and 48 minutes. So that is almost up to the hour, which is what I do try to do. Give you the first hour is my little bit of a talk about. Now, this Hoop D's is saying there, entrapment and entitlement and indoctrination. A very good point. The entitled, the people that think they are so entitled and they deserve extra things. You know, something I've witnessed in my days as a chef is the vegans, or maybe even the kind of plateau, whatever that gluten-free bullshit diet is all about. And they sort of, I'm on a diet. I'm entitled to change your menu. I don't want anything that you're offering. I want everything different. You know, I will give the example again that last year, and this is one of the times that I actually literally was restrained in the kitchen from going after customers. And you know, I have actually gone after a customer or two before now. Shared a couple of those stories with you all. But last year during the Raptors playoff series, and it was a very, very exciting time. It's one of the few times, you know, kind of a city like Toronto, which is so huge, kind of has a little bit of unity and kind of community spirit, and everyone's kind of got a little bit of something in common. We're all kind of rooting for the hometown. Go Raps go. And it was a good, nice, a good and fun experience, and a coming together during this, you know, during that event for the city. But my bar, I'm a sports bar, we had standing room only. It was like the fucking Super Bowl Sunday every other day. It was crazy busy, and I think it was either game 5 or it must have been game 6, because I had game 7 off, because I remember I did a live feed, and it was during spring break last year. I think the Wednesday night of spring break last year that the Raptors won. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, these two beta boys, and, you know, they had the beards, and they had their little skinny pants on, and they had their kind of little flowery button-up shirts that they like it to wear. That was very popular last summer. It was a very generic look. The clones, the hive mind, the collected conscious of Karens. But anyway, these two motherfucker cocksuckers come in to my bar on the busiest fucking night of the year. Wall-to-wall people, ceiling to floor, people eating stood up out of their hands. There's nowhere to sit. But these two motherfuckers, they had a table, lucky enough, that they reserved. Now, again, it's kind of Raptors. There are sports on the bar. There's a time to sit down to like certain meals, and there's a time, you know what, let me just get some wings, some nachos, maybe I'll grab a burger, let's watch the game. Not these two cocksucker motherfuckers. No. They were so fucking entitled. They wanted to order 2 traditional breakfasts. And I've told told this story before, but if you haven't, I'm going to this is why I hate cooking and working as a chef, Zahara, because of people like this, the entitled crave. And these entitled people are probably also the people that are acting the way they are that we've just been talking about for the last 40 or so minutes. But these two cocksuckers come in and they order 2 traditional breakfasts, which you don't order breakfast that time of night in a sports bar when it's busy, unless you're a special kind of special, unless you're kind of, it's an attention thinking things. Usually most people will be like, you know what, let's just grab something simple, it's busy. No, not these two guys. They ordered 2 traditional breakfasts, but one said, instead of bacon, can I please get a garden salad? Instead of hash browns, can I please get a Greek salad? Instead of eggs, could I just get an egg white omelette? And the other guy, he wanted, instead of bacon, could I get a baby spinach salad? Instead of hash browns, can I get a Greek Caesar salad mix? Like, they didn't want traditional breakfasts at all. They wanted to order something that they thought was going to make them very, 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 very look very cool. And the girl that was taking a service was going to bend over, take her panties off, say, take me both now. I've never seen 2 more spectacular men's specimens in all my life. You don't want breakfast, you want 2 salads and an egg white omelette. That's fucking, oh my God, you guys. But they expected this. And even though we told them, I'm sorry, there's no breakfast, because we don't run breakfast when it's that busy. There's no breakfast on the menu. They come up with, oh, yeah, but because of this, because of that, blah, 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 this, I'm entitled, I want my salads. And when we kind of told them that there were no salads, then the girl come back, goes, look, listen, these guys really are bitching. They want their salads, they're cool. Why didn't they just, and this is the thing, they could have ordered, one of them could have ordered a Greek salad, one of them could have ordered a Caesar salad, and they could order a couple of plates and shared it between them. But no, they had to go to the trouble of ordering a breakfast, then bastardizing that breakfast till it's not even a breakfast anymore, it's just a fucking salad buffet on a plate. But it was the entitleship that they believed that they deserved that. And the only 2 people in the whole crowd there that went out of their way that night to be bitches and order specific, special, needy, I need to be fucking breastfed, change my diaper type of orders, I can't piss standing up, mummy still wipes my ass kind of boys. They felt that they had to have that, and they made up all sorts of reasons, excuses why they couldn't order something simple, why nothing else on the menu was suitable. They were entitled to that, and are these, again, part of the people that have been programmed over a period of time to behave in the way they are. And I'm pretty sure in a lot of the cases, and I'm almost certain, Zahara, that the little boy that or girl, teenager that give you that horrible message today is probably one of these people that enjoys lettuce buns in Beyond Beef burgers, in Caesar salads with no croutons, cheese or bacon or dressing, just extra lettuce, because that gives them some virtual signaling. And we were talking a little bit how fear has been turned into virtue, and these Karens are believing that they are virtual signaling by causing this hate and anger onto people who don't agree with it. Anyway, it is there a title, salad and omelettes. I mean, what the fuck? Do you remember Fraser? Salads and scrambled eggs. Oh my! I can't remember the lyrics, but that's what I'm talking about. That, I don't know, just makes me mad, things like that. But these are the people that seem to be behaving in this kind of matter. And is it a result of the fact that they have been subliminally programmed to do so? So have I got myself as close enough to the hour as possible? The Guy version I thought were called Chads. It's their entitlement. It's their entitled entertainment, I guess. That's how boys get their rocks off these days, I think. I've also told you about our boy Lake Superior, who's another one of these kind of beta male, kind of like the opposite of toxic masculinity. He's like so non-toxic, he's almost a feminazi. If that makes sense to you. But he also orders some of these bizarre dishes and concoctions. I think I told you about his banana peanut butter sandwich that he's tried to win the affections of nearly every single server I've worked with. But Chad's, wasn't Baby Pamplin or Judy Bell's son called Chad? Be careful there, Montana. But no, I don't know what a male Karen would be called. A Ken, maybe? Chadron? I really couldn't tell you. Anyway, guys, there we are. That's pretty much the first hour done and dusted. Let's see if you got any. It was yours, right, Baby P? Your Hope's son was called Chad. Kenley, great coverage on Saturday. I watched the rest early Sunday AM. So yeah, we will be handing over and flipping it around in a second. So that's good. We can start talking maybe a little bit about that. Maybe if you guys have some thoughts on what we just been talking about. As we do, we need to get a name for this part where we turn the camera around. As I said, this is a new part of TSP TV, so I'm going to do some rearranging for you. Would you like some music while I do that? Why don't I put some music on while I do the rearranging? Hold on, you all, as I do need to, you know, we've had upgrades to the studio. Oh, sorry, no offense, just internet crap. No, we know you're teasing. I'm just having a little bit of fun. I just want to get into the mood of a little bit of lightheartedness after I've done my speaking. What am I trying to do? Get some music. Oh God, yeah. I need to remind me about the quiz show music made in Montana, Baby P or Becky, JBG. What am I doing? Intro musics. Okay, so we're gonna put some music on one more time. As I get ready. Sorry about that, I've turned the volume up too soon. Alrighty, there I am. How are you doing? Let's turn the music off. There you go. I got my middle-aged podcaster cool look baseball cap aviator mirror combo. I'm going to take the glasses off in a second, guys. Don't you worry about that. Hold on a sec. Let me just put the camera down a little bit more like that, and let's take those off because I can't see shit. I don't know if you can notice, I do got a bit of color to the skin. So they were some nice. I picked those up, $4 in Chinatown down on the weekend. You want me to put them back on again? You remember Hoopties? You probably remember. Do you remember in E.T. there was a dude on one of the crew on the bike, and he had the headphones and the trucker cap and the big aviators and the body warmer? That guy, I still rock his style to now. I do look good in the aviators, I must admit, and I do wear a cap because I'm a little bit conscious about my bald head. But this is something new. We did this for the first time kind of last week. Austin Powers, yeah, we got that kind of music. That's what I was trying to do. I dropped the burner phone. Get your comments up on the screen. There was a burp for your Baby P. What am I doing? My videos. Give me a second. I've already forgot what somebody was talking about. Oh, that was right. Kenley was talking about the coverage on Saturday. So yeah, we do want to talk a little bit of about that and kind of get some feedback from you all about that. So 3 burps so far. Aviators make me look weird, but I love them. Yeah, some people can rock them, some people can't. So anyway, we are trying, that's what I wanted to do. I did have a little bit of a rearrangement. I got a couple of rations that I threw there. So I got my Portuguese and a Russian military ration there that let me try and get the camera angle a bit better, because I did go to a little bit of trouble, and oh my god, my pants have wriggled up, underwear issues. So once I've got myself comfortable, that's what I wanted to do. Kick back with tea. Maybe I should have a mug of tea. Maybe I should get a mug made for this part of the show. CBC comment section was nasty to non-mask wearers. Haven't seen it, Leon. But yeah, so you're seeing the examples that we are making. I'm trying to make sure that my shirt doesn't pop open. It is a little bit tight, I must admit. When you kind of sit down, it stretches open. But Maiden Montana, she chose my shirt for the night. We might not be doing win the shirt off my back this evening, but yeah, I did try and decide. I've got a whole bunch of flannel shirts, so maybe I'm going to try and wear a different one each and every week for you, because I don't use them otherwise. Why not utilize them? That might be a little thing that I'm going to do, introduce a different flannel each and every week. So yeah, Leon was saying that he's seen some nasty non-mask wearer comments. Thank you, Maiden Montana. As I said, a little bit of sun on the skin. Look, can you see? Almost different colour. And as I said, the ladies do got a picture of my tan lines. If anyone's interested out there, some money in the tip box might get you sent the tan line picture privately, for your eyes only. So anyway, we did have a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun, and really and truly kind of wish that I kept the camera rolling after I finished on Saturday night, because the adventures didn't stop. No, a little happy band of I guess real life thrift fam. Some of my escapades at the Toronto protests. Each and every week, I seem to sort of reach the right people, and we meet more and more interesting folk. And are these people becoming the real life? Sorry, I've got to do that. It always makes me look freaky looking at my eyes on the camera. But am I putting together a real life kind of thrift fam, just like you are the thrift fam out there in the viewer land? There are a little thrift fam being put together here in Toronto. But we did have much fun and adventures for the remainder of the evening, and a few of us that you may have seen talking at the end of the stream on Saturday. We went off down to Kensington Market and had a little bit of an explore around. Hold on a second, that's what I'm trying to do, get the perfect, because I've kind of set this all up. I've got to try and find, I might have to mark it on the thing, but I need to kind of get myself situated properly, because I could see there was the wall behind. But anyway, we went, made our way down through Chinatown. Now, Chinatown on a Saturday, like summertime, Chinatown is just so much fun. It's vibrant. There's lots of sights, smells, sounds. The bubble tea stands out on the street. People selling like fresh coconut water. It's just a very interesting place to be. I do plan to do possibly a walkabout in Chinatown in the summer, but at the moment it is like a ghost town. You sort of leave in the protests where there's lots of people, lots of energy. Get into that part of town, it's sort of, you know, I Am Legend, ghost town time, except for the homeless people, yo. They are kind of a little bit like we saw in New York when I was watching earlier in this pandemic. But Chinatown, especially because there's a liquor store in Chinatown, I don't know if you're aware, but here in Toronto, or in Ontario in general, you can't buy liquor in your grocery stores or your supermarkets, convenience stores, gas stations. You have to go to a liquor store that is government run. So there's this one liquor store And one of the guys that was part of our little group wanted to stop, get some liquor in the... I saw your comment. It was a very... Thank you. That was a wonderful comment. I actually showed it to my mum, Kenley, because it was that nice. But he wanted to stop up, get a couple of cans of beer, get some liquor, and we were gonna... Our plan was we're gonna go grab some food because there were some businesses that were open in Kensington. Maybe Leon, you can come chill with us. We've got a little plan of action, maybe this week, but it's not a set in stone plan. It's just a plan. Let's see what happens, where we go after the protest. Why do we have to go home? The weather's nice, sun's out. And in particular, at the protest, some people were saying that there are some businesses that are open in and around Kensington. So we went, let's go support these guys. They're opening, they're kind of breaking rules. Maybe let's try and do some recruiting, give them some awareness, tell them about the protest. Why don't you get yourself down there next week? So we went there and they were selling like beer in mason jars. A litre of beer, $10, and they give you a bag of chips or, you know, Doritos or Lay's. Good deal. So our idea was, let's go grab maybe a couple slices of pizza. Let's grab some beers. Let's grab some chips. Let's go to Kensington Market, have an evening picnic. But before we even got that far, we got to the liquor store. And this is where the homeless people were congregated in mass, in like almost everybody that was coming out of the liquor store was being harassed, not by one, not by two, but there's about like 6 of these homeless people that were kind of out the door. And there's actually one guy led on the floor, twisting his pookie, 2 to 10, 2 to 10, brazen day. There's no one there. No one's going to stop him. He's just led in the fucking middle of the street, smoking his fucking crack pipe. I needed to piss like a racehorse. I was with, it was, what's her name? Gracer and this dude, Robert. And the little black girl, I can't remember her name, Mila, she was going to be coming along. She's a wonderful girl. Can't wait to speak to her again this week. And hopefully, Leon, we can introduce you to these people. Get yourself some friends in the like-minded. You don't have to sit in and around listening to the CBC or CP24 brainwashing. But she was going to come along, but she had a babysitter. She had to get back and do that. But it's a shame. She was a wonderful, wonderful, spirited person. Very smart girl. Could have talked to her all night. Kind of hot as well. But nevertheless, we kind of went on this little, let's just keep going and sort of make a night of it. And something that was also very, very funny, in reference to what I was talking about last week, possibly on Friday night in spring break, about making a real life sitcom. And the joke was, maybe if Mel did get divorced and moved in with Anika, I should hop the border, get myself down to Galveston, and we could be the real life Three's Company. And I actually tried to get Gracer to come over and watch the show tonight, but she said she was a little bit mediated out. Maybe that was a polite way of saying no. Girls sometimes do have polite ways of saying no. Sometimes they just fake their death and you never hear from them again. That has happened. But we were on this little kind of mission. We got to the liquor store. Robert, the dude, he wanted to go in, drink, get some liquor, get a couple of cans of beer, head off to the park. I needed to piss, so I kind of ran around the back because there's some alleys around there, and found a dumpster and pissed like Austin Powers. Remember when he comes out with suspended animation? And it's like, oh my god, that just felt amazing. But I kind of went back, and Gracer had disappeared. Like, here we go, she's faked to death. But I noticed she hadn't. She'd walked some way down the strip. Hey, Alias, glad to see you. Welcome, welcome. And the reason being, because the homeless were just kind of like sitting in pools of their own piss. They hadn't even, like me, went round the back to sort of use a dumpster, which I'm not saying is right, but when you've got to go, you've got to go. And there's something that is, bathrooms are closed. You can't use them anywhere, even in public. They're all closed down. This is another part of the interesting story. So poor Robert, he had to line up outside the LCBO for maybe 10-15 minutes before he kind of got in and out with his beers, and that is quite a long time. You should be able to just pop in, grab your beer and go. But he had to line up outside, and while he was lining outside, the fucking homeless posse were harassing anybody that was stood outside or anybody that was coming out. And then this one guy come out, and I guess as he come out, he put his bottle in his jacket and kind of tried to walk by the homeless people. Yo, one of the fucking homeless dudes starts grabbing his coat, trying to steal the bottle, and they're fighting. And this is why I'm saying I wish to God I kept the camera phone. And we were going to say, let's keep the camera rolling. But we kind of ended up having a real life sitcom event that we called Almost Romantic. It's because Picnic, the tower, we haven't got there yet. So anyway, this is after the cameras had finished, after the stream. I'm out in Kensington with these people that we met at the protest. Good conversation, good company. You know, it's kind of innocent, hence Almost Romantic. So we've seen all the harassment of these homeless people harassing people that are going into the LCBO. One of them tried to rob a customer, like literally tried to rob them. I should possibly record this, but in the moment, and I kind of pushed little Gracer to the side and did my gentlemanly thing. Hey, calm down, guys. No need for that kind of thing. But it was some very, very odd behaviour, and certainly not the behaviour you would see had there been people around, right? If there'd been so many normal activity going on in Chinatown, I'm pretty sure the homeless wouldn't. I'm not saying they don't congregate in and around that area, but maybe not as saturated in God, what am I talking? Like making problems being is problematic. That's what I was trying to say. But anyway, Robert comes out, the dude. He's got his couple of cans. He's bought himself a little Mickey of whiskey, and we walk down Spadina, which is a very famous road here in Toronto. If you don't know, but anyway. Usually on a Saturday afternoon, you couldn't move down the street for bumping into people. The kind of Chinatown, they have the little market stalls out on the sidewalk here. Well, they are a little bit mentally ill and also very high on crack, Nancy, as well as a little bit liquored up. Maybe they are getting desperate. I'm not sort of saying they don't. I mean, I've actually been homeless myself and sort of lived among sort of people like that for some time, but you know, you get your panhandlers. It is something you see, but they were being very brazen. Like I say, they were just like pissing everywhere. They weren't even kind of hiding it. They kind of, the fact that there's almost a lawless society. And this is the other thing that's very interesting about these businesses that are open. Now, they can't open, so you can't go in and sit down, but they're kind of operating out of the front door. So they got like the door open, and like they got maybe a table and a jar with money in, or like a little box register type deal. And they're selling liquor to go, like beer or wine or sangrias. And this was quite the case, but they don't want to break the law by opening up and letting people come and sit down, but they actually are breaking the law by selling alcohol to go, right? Which isn't legal. So they're kind of happy to break one rule, but they're not happy to break the other one and open up. But they are kind of operating somewhat, and you know, they got to make their ends meet and they got to pay bills, so fair play to them. Why should they be forced out of running their business? But a lot of places were doing this. But anyway, we went to go and get some pizza from, like, you know, you get a slice of pizza and a soda or something for $4 or $5. And Robert asked to use he goes, listen, he ordered his pizza, paid for his pizza. Can I use your restroom? They wouldn't let him use his restroom. It's not safe. It's not safe. You can't use the restroom. It's not safe. He goes, what do you mean it's not safe? I'm the only person in here. I need to use the restroom. Can I please use your restroom? No, it's not safe. It's not safe. So anyway, I decided, you know what, fuck you, brother. I'm not paying for your pizza if you can't use. So I left. I said, I'm not getting pizza. I don't want pizza. But he'd already paid, got his pizza. We left. So we went to a little bar. We picked up some beer in jars. It was really cute, you know, in a little mason jar. And then we headed towards our spot in Kensington Market. But even we went to this little spot, talked about the protest, the back to work campaign, being non-profit. They're here to kind of help you guys open up. Put some money in their little box, bought some beer, give them the tip, said thank you for opening. Any chance you can maybe use your it's dangerous, we're not allowed. So again, they're happy to break the law, they're happy to take the money, but oh yeah, we can't break the law that much. And wouldn't let him use the restroom. So anyway, we eventually got all the things we needed, made our way to Kensington Market. Lo and behold, almost every business was open. Same thing, operating with like takeout. If you want like a takeaway pitcher of sangria, you can do that. You want to take beers or wines, all this stuff was going on. And the park in Kensington was popping. There were buskers playing music, there were people sat out having picnics, smoking weed, all sorts of people, as well as, I mean, if you visit Kensington, on the surface it looks very bohemian, very, oh wow, look at this, the hippie vibe. But if you live here, you kind of realize that it is kind of the homeless hangout, and especially not necessarily the sketchy homeless people, but it is a place that the homeless will congregate, and maybe the guitars and the buskers and the sort of panhandlers and this is the sort of thing you're going to see in Kensington Market. But it was alive and vibrant, unlike Chinatown, which was a couple of blocks this way. This little Kensington Market in the park in particular at Augusta Street, that was popping. There were people in there, you know, and it was such a beautiful night, you know. We had the weather, it was warm, and you can sit in the park, and this is why it was almost romantic. We had the CN Tower there, all illuminated, some guy playing Jim Morrison songs on his acoustic guitar, walking around, and we actually befriended another protester. A lady come by, actually I can show you there, I don't know if you can see the sign. There's Grace's banner from the protest. It's now here in the studio. But anyway, we befriended another person who saw the banner, asked about it, and then she come over and she started hanging out. And for probably 2-3 hours, we just chilled out at Kensington Market. The tower was there, and the music, the summer night, and I went and got some fish and chips. There's a fish and chip store there, and actually this guy was letting you use the bathroom in, like, kind of in Kensington. It was a little bit like, the COVID doesn't exist here, social distance, you know, they were kind of operating within limitations and restrictions, but yeah, they were kind of a little bit lawless, like a little pocket of normality. And as I said, a summer's night in Kensington Market, the music, the buskers, it really is a nice experience. And this is where I joke, you know what, if this was a sitcom, this would be almost romantic. We're having our little fish and chip picnic in the park, we're listening to the music, the CN Tower, and it become very, 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 like, that would become the theme of the night, that it was almost romantic. And this was the real life sitcom that kind of happened. Now, funny enough, not very far from Kensington is like a project area. And Gracia, bless her, she grew up. She said, hey, let me go and show you where I grew up. It's just over there. I can show you where I used to play basketball. I grew up in the PJs. Again, this is straight out of some kind of, you can see Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks doing this kind of thing. Maybe in New York, not Toronto, it'd be much more romantic, I'm guessing. And that's why it's almost romantic. It's Toronto. We couldn't afford the budget to film on location in New York, but Toronto is the cheaper New York equivalent, especially at street level. You can't really tell. But anyway, we went to the ghetto, and she gave us a little tour around. And again, the ghetto, there were people out. There were some dudes playing basketball on the courts. You could smell the blunts in the air. There were ladies, and this was like why I really wish I still recorded, and why it would have been just, it would have been almost the real, whether or not it would have ended up the same with the camera. But sort of off the beaten track and out of, you know, the beaten eye, there was some life and activity. Now, hopefully this weekend we're going to try and get some more people to go down, do a little bit of recruiting, make some awareness of these people, and also try and support some of these businesses that open. And I'm, you know, the economy is being ruined, and small businesses and the middle class, it would seem, are being the ones that are being forced down and affected the most. Yes, it was North York. I used to live in North York for a while, and there is still, when you get north of Shepherd, that is technically York. Is it Shepherd or Eglinton? I can't remember. So what's Alias saying? Hey Alias, we've been looking after Leon for you. I think he's having a good time, so thank you for recruiting a new Thrift fam. You get a gold star and are this week's star pupil. For show and tell, you brought us a new fam member. Good vibes, that's what we like to hear. So it was really nice to see a little bit of kind of normality, and really nice to sort of get out of the Karen mentality in these kind of entitled people. They were a little bit cray with their attacking of individuals and all this stuff. But anyway, the night kind of fizzled down as it got closer to midnight, and eventually we parted company in the early hours of the morning, but the day beat me up. The hot sun, the fact that I was on jeans, I had a dark shirt on, a dark cap, there's no shade at Queen's Park. Although I took water with me, it wasn't enough water, and then I kind of had a couple of beers, had something to eat, we had a little smoke in the park. That put me out, and I actually think I had a little bit of heat exhaustion on Sunday, as I just couldn't think, couldn't function, couldn't do anything but lie like this. But it was a great you're supposed to bring 3 people this week, TSP. What's that, to the thrift store, or I need to take 3 people to the protest? Well, I take you guys, you're my guests. I take you with me, and however many of you were watching on Saturday, I don't know, but it was a great stream. I got to speak to some very cool and interesting people. I particularly like our little hippie chick, because she's into the ground and in the earth and the sunshine, and a couple of you have actually sort of mentioned in private that she was very interesting. So as there are quite a few ladies out there, I might try and get an interview or something with her. But we are branching out, we are meeting some people, we are delving into a little bit of uncharted territory in terms of TSP TV and content. But you do know that in the last few weeks I have made a little bit of an effort and attempts to make all of this a little bit more presentable, maybe a little bit more professional, dare I say. And again, we've been going out doing interviews, real life honest reporting of real life news events. You can't put it any way other than that. And like I said many times on Saturday, there is an absence of the media there. As a YouTuber, as a truther, as a prepper, I kind of feel obligated, maybe it's a duty, to go out and report. We're in Baby Pamplin's pocket. Don't forget, Baby P, we've got to get on your video YouTube channel. That's also something I wanted to talk to you about, maybe, because we had some fun joking about your YouTube channels, and I am going to get on the how to ship video production videos soon. I need to take 3 people to the protest. Well, as I said, I don't know, I might see the 3 people that I've met at the protest. Leon, if you're going to come down, you can be my guest. I can arrange to meet you there. Hopefully you can find me in the crowd. I'll be the guy with the camera, and I have become sort of the unofficial media of the Toronto protest. There isn't anybody, I don't think, unless I'm wrong, feel free to prove that has more footage of that event. And it is, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it was my calling. I talked about this last week, and a little bit about the end of spring break, going into that live stream with a little bit of a new and kind of new outlook, maybe, as I said, a little bit more professional. I decided to wear jeans and a dark shirt. Not this week, no, I'm going as I am in my comfy shorts, flip-flops, because that just zapped me. And even yesterday I wasn't feeling too great. I think I got dehydrated and exhausted, as well as the kind of, when you're in there, it doesn't sound a lot, I'm not making it, oh, it's so hard, it's difficult, oh my god, you don't know what's involved, but you do get caught up in the moment, and I don't really see sometimes what I'm seeing in front of the camera until I get home. And again, like some of the people, the last couple of weeks that I met, I mean, remember the guy, the Men in Black dude? When I was recording that, my eyes were like, holy fucking shit, this is gold. This is like, wow, you couldn't script this shit. And this is it. It is history. We have a responsibility to record history. And part of the reason I want to be teaching you all how to make your own shit videos is because we've got to start fighting back. I mentioned earlier that the Karens and the Chads are being brainwashed by memes on social media. This is the battlefields, guys. The social media feed, the mainstream is where the bombardments, the boom, 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 that comes from, like the aerial bombardment. But the crossfire, that's coming on social media, and the memes are picking up. They're shooting their brainwashing bullets to the mind of the Karens. So what we need to do, guys, is fight back. This is why I started making Truthaganda videos. If you haven't seen my latest one, like, dude, it even made me cry. And I got some of the footage of the march. Oh my god. We're going to have to turn the camera around in a minute because I've got to plug it in. I've got the 15% thing come up. Now, I did edit that footage, but the only edit I did was kind of cropped. I took the big screen and just concentrated on the people that were marching, and I put a nice grainy old school vintage filter on there and accompanied it with some, I turned the volume down so you couldn't hear me talk, you couldn't hear the protesters, put some sad music, the black and white. And again, this is an example that at the time I was just recording the people coming back from the meme wars begun. These meme wars have, indeed, that's what I'm talking, you've got to be social media Jedi. But I didn't see what I was seeing. I was just there, innit, like pointing the camera at the crowd. But yeah, I know I should have drunk water, Kenley, to beer. It wasn't, I did it to myself, but it was beautiful because it started with a man and a dog, just one man and a dog. And then there was a lady with a stroller. And then there was a guy, you may have recognized him with a flag in his little wheelchair. And it was like 3 very different people. A man and a dog, a lady with a stroller, a man in a wheelchair. And then all the people. And I'm like, you couldn't fucking make that. Like, you couldn't, like, if you had a cast and a crew, you couldn't catch that, you know, create that as it happened live. And I did put out a little bit of a video of it, a Truthaganda video, because it was honest and truth. You cannot irrefute that. It is irrefutable that was an actual moment. It wasn't something that was created, manipulated. This is it, and this is what we need to be doing, is putting out our truth. Just can't censor the truth. They can shut us down, they can shadow ban us, they can try and hide us away, but they can't discredit the truth. You know, they can't fact check and say the truth is false, right? Islam, why don't the 33% moral minority of the US population who vote start doing election recall to remove those who are going along with the plan in scamdemic and wars? Very good question, Islam. Sadly, not a question I could probably answer. But yeah, government is failing us, and possibly supporting government hasn't really got us to where we need to be. And maybe seeing what government is doing us now, it is a government takeover. Like all these stimulus packages, there's just going to be, if you can't pay them back, the government's going to own your property, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do with mortgages and bank loans and stuff like that. If you can't pay them, then your property becomes ownership of the government. So guys, I'm going to try and flip you around. Don't get excited, ladies, not that kind of flipping you around. If I can. There's my adapter. All right. I'm almost getting smooth with my edits. Look at that. Oh my god, I forgot to turn the camera around. Me bigging myself up and forgot to do that. So there we are. We're back in the thrift store studio at the minute. Yes, Kenley, it was a wonderful moment to capture, and as I said, it did even bring a little tear to my eye. The music, the people, especially like the fact that it was like one man and his dog, and then at the end of that video there was just so many people and the banners and everything. It really was like, my god, I'm kind of like, I made this on a phone that is fucking hacked by Google, won't work properly. And as I said, it's one of those little kind of moments where we are seeing possibly the transformation of TSP-TV. So I've done a little bit. I don't know if you found that story or part of the show particularly entertaining, but as I said, I wanted to show you that is what happened a little bit after what happened. Once the camera stopped rolling, and maybe I really should possibly keep the camera rolling a little bit after we leave the protest this week. So hope you liked my shirt. That was picked out today by Made in Montana. Maybe one of the other moderators will choose my shirt for hopefully Thursday. I am planning to do another 2 nights a week live shows. We're going to do Tuesday and Thursdays at 10 TSP, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 10 p.m. Hopefully you can remember that. We actually did used to go live at 10 o'clock for the longest time. Then we kind of went a little bit earlier at 9 o'clock for a while, just to give us that extra time to go a little bit longer if need be. And then of course we were going live at 7 o'clock every night in the early part of this pandemic. But we have rebranded, we have kind of repackaged the thrift store a little bit. Hopefully, as I said, guys, you are enjoying these improvements, and it does seem to be each and every week things do improve. Not necessarily my skill sets, but just like I say, the capturing the last 2 weeks for me at the protest, and the stuff that I caught, the interviews, you know, like I was 5 weeks ago, I wasn't a reporter or anything. And even the first kind of protest that I turned up, that first Saturday 4 weeks ago, when there weren't many people there and it's cold and wet and a little bit windy, and I kind of sat on my own under the rock. I don't know, that was kind of a little bit of, as you say, not necessarily global history, but TSP history, and a little moment in transformation of being a basement dweller truther to frontline reporting, and bringing you some kind of, I guess, media coverage of a newsworthy event. And I'm hoping, even though some of you guys who don't live in Toronto have found yourself a little bit of a connection to the city as a result of tuning in here. So guys, as I said, we've got the cards, the shitty cards. We can also get those shuffled, and maybe I can think of a funny story. So has anyone got any thoughts or anything more on the Manchurian Karen? Maybe I should have titled the video the Manchurian Karens. It's got a funny ring to it, don't you think? Maybe I could do a video. But as you know, I did lose the thrift phone, and I did have quite a lot of stuff on there that I was working on, some videos towards Logan's Run, Judge Dredd, and The Watchmen that I have lost, that I'm going to probably either have to say, you know what, fuck it, it wasn't meant to be, or start making them again. But due to the fact that my phone at the moment is possibly hacked, it's giving me all sorts of problem editing, recording videos and stuff like that. Is a little bit tricky and complicated for me at the minute, so I don't know how much content I can bring out this week. I am planning to meet up with Lamont from the protest. For those of you who don't know who Lamont is, that was the guy in the Hawaiian shirt. I've touched base with him yesterday. I'm trying to be cool and shuffle, making a right mess of it, but I am going to be seeing him possibly on Thursday, maybe bringing you interviews. Sorry, Nancy, are we keeping you up, darling? If you do need to go and lie down, we will forgive you. But only 10 folks are watching now, so I guess other people had other places to be. So, shitty cards. Who's ready for another game? Oh my god, I got to remember, if we're going to play shitty cards, we need the music, right? And I am going to try and play this out. So we've got about 25 minutes left. I'm going to round it up at midnight, Nancy, if that's okay. We're going to do 2-hour shows. Keep it nice and, I guess, uniformed is what I'm trying to say. Leave you wanting a little bit more. Make you want to come and tune in again on Thursday night. So I'm very glad that William Leon made it. What happened to William? He was here earlier. Did anyone upset him, or did he have somewhere to be? Maybe that's the thing. Sometimes later, some people want to go to bed, got places to be in the morning. I don't know. We're trying to get it as accessible for you as much as I can. Hold on. Good evening, JBG. Enjoy dinner. So this is me trying to do like the intro to the shitty cards. All right. We've got more music. Don't worry. I didn't realize there's actually more to that video that will be fun in a moment. Trust me, trust me, trust me. So that was my little attempt to do a shitty card intro live on the bounce for you there. I don't got your contents at the minute. So yeah, sorry Judy, we do miss you already. Maybe we'll chat a little bit later in the mod room. And we did have a bit of fun and games on Discord the other day. That sometimes can be a little bit of a popping place to hang out if you are part of the Thrift family. Alrighty, so I'm going to do this a bit different. We did 4 rows of 3, so I'm going to do 3 rows of 4 this time. Did we just knock Prepper Baby over? And partly because it kind of fits nicer in the screen, I think. If we can come back just a little bit. Okay, I'm actually a little bit, because remember last week when I figured out that we had that, like, I pulled the game show jingle off live at the first attempt, and that really kind of made me happy. This bit might, so it's a 10. The first card is a 10. Let's move Smurfy over there next to Binocular Boy. Don't know what happened over there. So the first card is a 10, but wait for this. It's like pressure music, higher or lower than a 10. Do you like this? Listen to the dramatic. I'm waiting for a laughy emoji. The dramatic music. This is what I was waiting for all day to do this, believe it or not, and it's not getting the reaction I was hoping. Is it adding to the drama? Is it adding to? It's like Deal or No Deal. Anyway, Baby Pamplin's laughing. She's thank you, Baby Pamplin. I know that's kind of like the sort of the laugh a mum would make. So Baby Pamplin is going lower than a 10. Etienne's going higher. Etienne higher than a 10. Do you want some more of the dramatic music? Okay, Leon, let's have some more of the. Is it going to be higher or lower? Higher or lower? You pick. You pick. Is it higher? Is it lower? So we're going to go. It is fantastic. I'm going to try and find some more of those. It does add to the experience, and as again, it's part of the improvement here. And we didn't have a jingle like that when we played Wheel of Thrift, if you can remember. Good vibes. This is what we try to do. We give you a little bit of truth, give you some opinions and thoughts, something to wrap your mind out, and we like to send you out with a smile on your face so you don't feel as depressed, and hopefully won't be as subjectable to the mainstream media. So what are we saying? Hold on, the door here. We can't stop the production for the door alias. I can't do that. Nancy's loving the music. See, aren't you glad we kept you up just for that music? I can see you dancing around on the porch there, you little crazy Cajun you. So we're going to go with lower. I think that's what Baby Pamplin said. Very right, Baby Pamplin. You were right. ATN was wrong. He went lower or higher. I can't remember. Okay, so is it going to be higher or lower than a 6? Higher or lower than a 6? Don't be sad, ATN. Do you know what would be great, ATN brother, if you could, I don't expect you to, but maybe if you could get yourself out to Toronto one day. I mean, it's unlikely I'm going to get to Quebec, although I'd like to. I've not been to Quebec City. I've been to Montreal, Ottawa, and Vancouver. But Quebec could be interesting. Becky P's going lower again. Becky P does like, where's Judy Bell? Because she gets very excited. You know, she's like one of those crazy housewives on The Price is Right. Higher, lower, all in, all in. And then ends up losing all her chips. But anyway, Baby P's going lower. How can you go? How low can you go? What are you saying, ATN? Are you going to go higher or lower than a 6? Higher or lower than 6? Base. How low can you go? How low can you go? Base. How low can you go? Oh no, I wasn't typing cuz door a minute ago. Okay. Alias, we're just playing around. ATN's going lower. Dang, ladies, you broke. You're broke. Okay, so you remember the rules. You do need to get 10 cards in order to win the prize, which means at this point, you can't get a single one wrong. Okie dokie. I will give you the opportunity to bank at some point. You do get one option to bank the cards that you have stacked. I'm trying to figure out some actual rules to this, so when we do get it up and running and maybe we can get the thrift phone on. That's something I hadn't heard from Danielle today. She went AWOL. She was going to get me a top-up voucher. I sent her some money. Oh yeah. What was it? It was it a Jack? I think it was the Jack. Let's leave the Jack there. So is it going to be higher or lower than the Jack? But no, we don't. We get rid of that when we turn the next car over. Easy. Aces are high. It's got to be lower. So we're going to go lower. 7. Okay. So is it going to be higher or lower than a 7? Now, if you want to bank those 2 cards now, you could. Hey, Martha. Hello, I'm here at the end of the show. Always happens, never ends to, fails to happen. That 6 people, only 6 people. That's a little bit disappointing. We did have about 13 or 14 earlier, so maybe the later start might mean some people are going to bed earlier. I don't know. We're just trying to make everyone happy. So what are we going? Baby Pamplin's lower, Leon's higher. I'm just slow. We do know that. Low. Baby Pamplin still shouting lower. Okay, Baby Pamplin. Game over. Now I need some wah, 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 wah. So you lost that one. Okay, we didn't get to the 12th card, which is what we do. So I'm going to shuffle them again. Who wants another game? Let's go back to, let's get the music back if I can. That was a bit of a glitch, sorry about that. Wow, look at that. I nearly, if I'd have pressed the pause quick enough, I'd have almost got that to a T. Okay, so let's get lined up for one more round of shitty cards. I want more. Everyone loves shitty cards. Who would have thought this simple little game would be the fun way to end the story, end the show? And as I said, we do like you to go away with a little bit of fun and entertainment, as well as educational and thought-provoking content. Whether or not I delivered this evening remains to be seen. I like to think I did a pretty good job, and hopefully that was an interesting topic about the Manchurian Karens. I really should have titled this the Manchurian Karens. Maybe I need to do a video just about the Manchurian Karens, just because it's a funny title. I think it's funny. Oh god, you know what, there you go. I'm going to give you the aces, the first card. There's a little bonus for you. You've seen that. Alright, so it's got to be lower than an ace. It's got to be lower than an ace. Kenley, my darling, are you leaving? I'm glad to have you here. So maybe the late night proceedings, poor little Kenley might turn into a pumpkin if she's up after midnight, and we wouldn't want to do that to you, darling. So make sure you get home and don't turn into a pumpkin. Okay, so it's got to be lower. As we know, aces are high. Yes, Baby P, we've established it's going to be lower. So it is a 9, guys. It is 9. So remember the rules. You can bank once. You have to get 10 cards to win. If you don't get 10 cards to win, then you lose, I'm afraid. The last couple of weeks we did just play till the end. So that is the rules. You do get 1 bank, and you do need 10 cards to win the grand prize. Baby P is going lower. Let's see if somebody else wants to add to that. Before one more, if we get one more contestant answer, we need at least 2. That's what I'm trying to do, get 2 of you to oh, Etienne's going higher. Martha's going lower. Okay, so we got 2 agreeing. So did you see what I'm trying to do here? So we need 2 confirming. Yeah, you know, it is lower. Good call, ladies. Good call. So it's now higher or lower than a 6. You've so far got 3 cards. Remember, you do need 10 for the grand prize, which I haven't decided if it's going to be the shirt off my back or maybe some ramen or stuff. But we do have to wait until we get a little bit back on our feet, maybe back at work, getting a few hours in from the kitchen, which hopefully might be in the next few weeks. I know lots of things can confuse. So Baby Pamplin's going higher. Etienne's going lower. So we do need 1 deciding vote, either way, higher or lower, to choose the next. Oh my God! Do you know what I'm not doing? Higher. Unfortunately, guys, that is the losing decision. So it gets much more fun when you only get 1 life. You can play another game if you want. Best of 3. Best of 3. So far, remember, we do have to bank. Look, Leon's upset. You are the weakest link. You're excluded from this round. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. I'm kind of making this up a little bit as I go along, ATN, and I'm trying to figure out how we can kind of make this maybe a little bit challenging as well as fun, because we just turned over the cards all the way to the end last week. So we're trying to put a little bit more... You're not the weakest link, Leon. If you haven't been to the thrift store, which you haven't, this is your first time, we do make fun of the ones we are affectionate towards. So when we are making fun of you, it is because we like you. It's a little bit of an acceptance thing. So anyway, elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. All right, let me try and get the music back to the start. Do you want one more round? Let's see how far we can go. Oh! That wasn't in the plan. And it helps if I put the cards the other way around, the right way around. Okay, contestants ready. It is another game of shitty cards. It is another game of shitty cards. So this is where we need a glamorous assistant to line up the cards. Possibly in a little black dress and heels with sequins. Oh my God, look, that's going to be the first card, all right? 9 is the first card because I think I showed you it on camera. Although the chances of you remembering that, well, the majority of you remember that. I wouldn't be betting very hard. So remember, guys, you do need to get 10 cards, and you can bank once. So if you bank your cards, they are safe, but you can only bank once. It's fun no matter what, win or lose. That's what we're trying to do, Nancy, is just have a little bit of fun. Oops, buffering. I have lost every hand. The challenge is great. Well, I don't know how this become like everybody who's comes here really gets quite into it. Remember we had that one person, I think it was a he or a she, from England, that they only stopped by once, but they couldn't get into this game more if they wanted to. So it is a 9, guys. Higher or lower? Oh, wait. Higher or lower? Higher or lower? Higher or lower? What's it going to be? Higher than a 9, lower than a 9, higher or lower? What will you choose? What will you pick? Higher or lower? Higher or lower? It's a 9. It's a 9. Higher than a 9, lower than 9. You decide. You decide. Win a prize. 2 lowers. Okay. I could play the music throughout, but I don't think it will last longer. So we are going lower. My mom was the gambler. It is lower than a 3. Off to a 9. We are off to a great start. There's a bonus prize for you, Baby P. A 4th burp, I believe. 5th. That was the hot dogs, Coca-Cola, and potato salad. Mixed in with a little bit of coffee. So higher or lower than a 3, guys? Higher or lower than 3? Do you want the music again? Higher or lower than a 3? Higher or lower than a 3? Becky's go. Oh no, I thought you were guessing the card. That was 5 burps. Higher, higher. Okay. Higher or lower? It is. My God, it was a 5. You should have said, yeah, I was guessing the card. I think it's going to be a 5. Just pretend right now, Becky P. You can almost pretend that you are clairvoyant. So higher or lower than what have you got so far? So you've got 3 cards. Now the 3 cards has been difficult to get past, remember, guys. Maybe you need 1 life. I don't know. That doesn't seem like it would work, actually. So no, you do get the 1 chance to bank higher than lower than a 5. Higher than lower than a 5. This is what I like. This is when I like to see the emojis at the fun part of the show. And there's lots of emojis. And did our favourite little Al Mal come by today? I mean, she's not our favourite. We're all my favourites, really. Elbow bump. So what are we saying? Higher or lower? Everybody's going higher. ATN's higher. Becky Pamplin is... Ooh, Martha's going lower. It's a king. It is higher. Good call, guys. Sorry about that, Martha. Maybe if you get it wrong, you miss a turn. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Some of you guys can maybe think of some rules to bring to the table. So look at that. We've got 8 minutes, guys. So this will be the last game, and we will be wrapping up around midnight. And we may play out with a little thrift prayer, which is a little bit of a tradition, I guess, we started to incorporate into these shows. So what are we saying, guys? Martha. I did get your message, my darling. And perfectly understandable. Mailing stuff can... things with weight, forget about it. Costs more than it's worth sometimes to send it. So everyone's going lower than it. Oh, you're getting some kind cards. Look how well. So you're doing well. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. You're halfway there, guys. Do you want to bank at this point? Do you want to bank? Who looks like a butterfly? You got this. You got this. You guys need to bank, or do you want to go? I mean, I don't know. At the minute, it's higher than lower. The king and the queen's gone, remember, guys. You've got to try and remember as well what cards have been played as to what's left in the deck. A little bit, if you can. So you are almost over the halfway mark. If you get 1 more, you only need 4 cards. Okay, Baby Pamplin saying bank, but it's a queen. Let's think of the odds. Is it going to be the king and the queen have gone? All right. So do you want to bank, or do you maybe want to risk? See what I'm getting to, the suspension. Like that, you could risk it, and then you could get 6. You get 6, then you're over halfway there. Leon, ATN are going. Martha's banking. Okay, guys, I'm going to bank. So you've banked it, and you're going lower. Okay, so those cards are safe. They can't be lost. They are banked. If this one is wrong, then you still have a chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can still win. Okay, so you go in. Play them. Oh, we do need to play them. I love how you're getting excited. If it's an ace, you can't be making that rule up, Baby P. Remember, that is the risk. So those are banked. Even if you're wrong, these are safe, but you will lose this card. It's an ace. It is an ace. You lost, but it is safe. It is safe. So higher or lower? The ace is gone. The ace is gone. I love how Leon encouraged to. It's not the same without the music, is it? You're right. I didn't get to this part. This is like the end. There is a chance. You still only need 5 cards to win, but remember, you have banked. If you do lose now, you will lower. It is, oh, that's not a good card, a 7. But remember what we have played, the chances are left. So you are on 6 cards. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, possibly we might have to get some kind of, do you want to cash out? At this point, you would have won a ramen noodle and a Prepper Baby. 5 cards will get you a ramen noodle prize. And if you do get all 10, you will get a bonus prize. If you get them all right, my God, who knows what we'll do. Lower. Everyone's saying lower than a 7. Do you want the music again? Let's get back and see if we can get some music. So close, guys. So close, but game over. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. If you'd have got that card, you'd have been 3 away from the jackpot. So there we are, guys. That has brought us nicely up to almost time to say goodnight on this Tuesday with T Live. Where did the time go? That hardly seems like 2 hours at all, but that's kind of what I do want to do. Streamline these things, give you some fun and entertainment, leave you wanting more. So good fun and games there. I think that has it adds to the challenge when you can't get it wrong, right? And the music, dang, house always wins. Indeed it does, guys. So at this point, if anyone's got the tip jar, you had fun, you do understand that I do run this as a service, public service to the public. I don't expect any monetary rewards in return for my efforts and carryings on at TSP TV, but I am out of work, have been out of work for some while, so any tips that you think you feel I deserve as a result of my efforts, the TSP jar, tip jar, might be passed around now by one of the, it might be Baby Pamplin. If not, don't worry about it, guys, we can do it again Thursday. But as you know, I don't have a job at the moment, and a little bit about making my improvements to the channel is about hopefully maybe starting to make this as some form of a way of making a living for myself, that I'm not reliant on anybody else, and that is something I've had in a little bit of a pipe dream for some time, to be able to work for myself doing something I enjoy. So we probably are going to run over just a little longer than the 2-hour mark, but not considerably so, to the point we're going to be going on for the next hour. I have it at home. We'll post it in the comments in the morning. No problem. Alias video call, virtual hug, chili wog. I'm not sure if I can do that myself. Put it in there at the minute, because I don't have PayPal on the backup phone. Never mind, guys, I should have thought of that probably beforehand. I don't want to risk it now. So anyway, Nancy had a fun time. Alias had a fun time. Martha's sad that she lost the higher or lower. Very glad that you enjoyed yourself, Leon. As I said, we hope to catch you possibly Thursday, when we will be doing TSP TV live on a Thursday. Do got a couple of ideas maybe for the future of what we're going to do. We did have a little chat last week about possibly doing kind of a little bit of a viewer generated segment show. Possibly not going to be able to do that until I get at least, it's not about getting the one phone. I need to get a second, like this hopefully will be my backup phone, but whether or not it will be reliable enough to be able to do what I want with casting to screens and things, who knows? So fingers crossed, my new phone should be here by the end of the week. This has actually kind of been quite a good stream, considering I am working with a glitched phone. So Shitty Cards was fun tonight, and a great way to end out these little thrift store prepper live shows. So we'll try and figure out Probably a similar format tonight for Thursday, but maybe trying incorporate something a little bit different just to give it, as I said, a little bit more appeal. I don't know, Alias. I probably should put it in there. Like I say, I'm not really one of those kind of, hey guys, tip me, help me out. But you do know my situation. I don't really want to keep dragging attention to it. But maybe I could do that. Well, I do clear out my Clash quite frequently, and actually have a couple of applications that do that on a daily basis for me, Leon. I don't know if you're tech savvy or something, but I could always show you in person. I can't do it now because I am using the phone, but the glitches are very, very, very bizarre. I don't think it's because I've also got 128 gigabytes of internal memory, and I've only used like 30 gigabyte of memory, so there's plenty memory on there. But it looks as though when I'm using my phone that every now and then something takes control of it, and I'm kind of trying to type, and then all of a sudden it pulls up screens, opens apps, types stuff, makes phone calls, the crazy shit. Baby Pamplin's seeing it. Were you watching free movies on it? Crazy glitchings? No, Alias. I actually have reason to believe that maybe I'm a targeted individual as a result of my factory receipt. I'm going to lose everything on my phone. It does seem like something is taking control of my phone, and we do know that there is artificial intelligence inside cell phone devices. And I am bringing a lot of content, a lot of hours of content of something the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about in terms of going to these protests. So maybe, I don't know if or not I'm getting delusions of grandeur by thinking maybe Google is going out of the way. The other thing that is very, very interesting to point out, on Saturday night as well, after the protest or early Sunday morning, I'd gotten up to 1,990 subscribers. We all know, if you've been around for a while, my crusade and close but no cigar kind of pipe dream of getting over the 2K subscriber amount, because that will kind of elevate you into a new level of algorithmic searches. It's like kind of leveling up. Thank you, ATM, superstar brother. That's why we've got the wenches here, because we all kind of help out and play our little parts. So thank you for doing that for me, brother. What was I talking about? So these little glitches in the shadow banning, me talking about something like that, it all kind of corresponds in and around the same time. And even, I don't know, it's very, very bizarre. I can't really explain it without showing you it. But it's like something does take over my control, my phone, and is controlling it on its own. Again, yeah, thank you, ATN. Thank you, Baby Pamplin. So anyway, guys, there has been some strange shenanigans going on. Am I being shadow banned? Am I a targeted individual? Is Google hacking my phone? That was it, the 1990 subscribers. So I've been trying literally since last spring break. We opened up with, can we get to 2,000 subscribers? And I think at the time then we needed 36 subscribers or something stupid. Can't remember exactly. And it never happened. Then just before Christmas, around the year mark, I mentioned that guys, we're 3 subscribers away from 2K, and we even started half-heartedly planning the 2K celebration live show. The very next day, I lost 10 subscribers. Couple of weeks back when I got my community strike, very weird behavior, because I think I was on a community strike, the algorithm, the censorship algorithm switched off, because that week I got lots and lots of views and a whole bunch of subscribers. Yet the first day that the algorithm in my community strike was over, boom, 6 subscribers taken. The next day, boom, another 6 subscribers taken. Pretty much half the subscribers I'd gained the week before taken away. And the same thing, 1990 subscribers. I was chatting to the moderators in the group. I said, guys, we might even make the 2K this week. The way I was growing, I got a lot of subscribers last week. People were asking me at the protest, what's your channel? What's your channel? No, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to subscribe, stuff like that. You saw if you watched, they were asking me. Yet, Sunday, the unsubscribing started. Yesterday the unsubscribing started, and it pretty much took again half the amount of subscribers I obtained over the weekend. So really the shadow banning is very evident. I think ATN, you were having difficulties finding the stream on Saturday, I think, if I noticed from your one of your comments. Little Zahara's just sent me a message, and then she said, I wonder if we could ever do a live stream together. Well, darling, anytime you're ready and anytime I've got the capability to do it, we can do that. I actually do want to talk to you a little bit about some ideas that I have up my sleeve. Martha, they have never unsubbed me, but they do not post when your show is live. That's what I'm talking about, Martha. And even Maiden Montana, bless her, I don't know if she's still here. She said that Mr. Maiden Montana, Chris, missed you, Chris, brother. Where have you been hiding? Maiden Montana hasn't got you locked up and chained to a bed like Kathy Bates because you disagreed with her dance moves. But anyways, blink twice if you're alive, Chris. She said that he had been unsubscribed and he had to resubscribe to my channel. So they really are out to get me, guys, and it is because I'm possibly unmonetized and I am going out of my way to possibly report and bring you information they don't want you to. There is, of course, the possibility that maybe, I did start out as a prepper channel. It maybe some of these people decided he's not talking about prepping anymore. Let's unsubscribe. It could happen. And there is also a chance that ever since I showed my face, some of you ladies out there that had illusions thought maybe I look like Hugh Grant or maybe Jude Law or perhaps any other host of British heartthrobs out there, that maybe that's what I looked like behind the camera when you were looking at these hands wishing they were caressing your body. I'm not making that up. I've had emails saying such things, and I don't even remember who. I don't think she watches anymore, but I had somebody said, if my wife sends you some hand lotion, would you rub it in my hands on camera? True story. But anyway, I'm not going to go into some of the graphic nature of some of those emails, but maybe some of the people that, females that had a little bit of a fantasy, an image in their mind what I look like behind the camera, once they saw the boat race, like, dang, yeah, right, let's go back to Marfugal. But anyway, guys, that's it. That is Thrift Store Prepper Live on this Tuesday night. You've got an extra 8 minutes of bonus footage. So let's play out on our thrift prayer, ladies and gentlemen, if you are all ready, and be so kind as to I don't know, do whatever it is you do when you pray. And for those of you that are newcomers, the thrift prayer is a non-religious prayer. I pray to the Force, for want of a better word, and if you are religious, you know the drill. The Force can be whatever you want it to be. So have we got your attention? And oh, thank you, baby P. But anyway, Martha, but your voice is so cool, it don't matter what you look like. Thanks. I'm not sure if that's like an encouragement. No, it's like, yeah, you are but ugly, but at least you sound nice. Thanks for that, Martha. That's going to give me some complexes and thought patterns. Did she mean I'm cute, or did she mean I'm ugly? I'm messing with you. But anyway, guys, come on. Let's get the thrift prayer out the way, say goodnight, and then Nancy can go to bed. We don't want her turning into a pumpkin, or whatever it is they may have down on the bio that is an equivalent of a pumpkin. So I got your attention, everybody there. Okay, guys, if I do have your attention and peace and quiet for 1 second, I am going to ask the Force, as always, to please watch over us, bask us in warmth and golden glow, keep our spirits high, keep us from risking temptation and depressions, evil pull and clutches upon us, and to give us the clarity and vision to make it through this uncertain and scary globalist takeover of humanity and freedom, and hope that we have the guidance and light and strength to come together and stand against adversary. Is that right? I think so. You know what I'm trying to say. Forgive me, the Force. We ask that when Nancy and her son are reunited, that moment is very golden and precious, and we hope, you know, for Zahara, if she's still watching here, that her baby is delivered and kept safe in her womb, and she is safe and protected from random strangers giving her abuse, as everybody we ask that we're all kept safe from harm, and that we can all come back and join us again on Thursday night, where we can do this all again. So namaste, amen, Allah Akbar, may the Force be with you, and be excellent to each other. There you go, guys. So thank you from that. We all did the little thrift prayer. Anyone got any last things to say before we say goodnight? I'll give you a little chance to do so now, and if not, we'll be seeing you again at Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Now all I got to do is try and stop the stream. There you go. Thank you, amen, from Baby P, Alias. I saw an amen also, I believe, from Leon. So thank you again, Leon, for joining in. We're very glad. And thank you, Alias, for bringing such a wonderful person to the thrift store. So that being said, guys, let's wrap this up. Let's say good night to each and all of you. Thanks for joining in. And I am having troubles getting the stop button up here, if I can. Fucker. Here we go. Okay, guys, it is a shit video production. It is TSP TV. See you in the next one. Till then, keep it thrifty, everyone.